leaders always face problems. Great leaders always break these mental ropes and become more effective and more efficient. Great leaders always question status quo. Hi, my name is Anjani Kuumar and welcome to my channel. We are talking about leadership, and in the first part of this video series, I have already shared with you three very interesting tips which can really help you in becoming a great leader. So today also, in the second part of this video series, I am going to talk about three more small tips which will further enhance your journey towards becoming a great leader. But if you have not seen the first part of this video series, go back and watch that and then watch this video completely so that you get fully benefited by all the tips that I am sharing with you. And these are small tips, but they can have a great impact on your career. You can really use them to become a very effective leader, very efficient leader, and ultimately become very successful in your life and in your career. So before we start the video, if you have not subscribed to my channel yet, do consider subscribing so that you get benefited by all these videos, and share it with your family and friends so that they also get benefited by this thing. So today I'm going to share with you another 3 tips. And these tips are new age tips. I call them new age tips because typically you don't get them in your college books or all the articles that are written about leadership. So these are very effective in the new age industries and in the conventional industries also, but typically we don't talk about some of these things on regular basis, and that's why it's critical that you pay attention towards them and use them in your day-to-day life. So the first thing and one challenge that I always see corporate professionals facing is the amount of emails that they receive every day. And email is one of the most important forms of communication in the corporate world. And when I coach people, they always tell me that they receive 100, 200, 300 mails every day, and it becomes extremely difficult for them to reply to every email and be up to date with that. But the problem with leadership is, as a leader, you are expected to respond on time, take decision, tell people what to do, respond to them in terms of what they have been asking. So how do you do that? Now, there's a very efficient way of doing it, and I call it a modern day technique because we all are used to now conveying our messages through SMSs, through WhatsApp messages, through Slack messages. And typically when we are operating on those channels, we write in a very short form. We actually communicate through short sentences or few words. We must use the same method while replying and responding to emails also. The tendency normally is when you are responding to emails, I have seen people writing long sentences, long responses, and that takes huge amount of time. And that's the reason why you can't be up to date on emails. Now, the art of managing this problem is to learn to respond in a sentence. Now, not strictly in a sentence, but in a sentence, 2 sentences or 3 sentences. So you need to bring in brevity in the method or in the manner in which you respond to emails. You need to learn this art because that will make you efficient. That will help you in responding to all those 100, 200, 300 mails in very short period of time. And that's the trick that we must learn if we have to become a good leader. Because leaders, as I said earlier, must be up to date on their emails, must respond to every question that is being asked to them, must give decisions, information, everything. So that's why it's critical for you to learn this art of responding to emails in a sentence or 2 sentences. You must use brevity in your form of communication through email. So that's why you need to learn this art, and it comes over a period of time as you practice. And since most of us have used other modes of communication where we actually use short sentences, short forms, so you just have to keep in your mind that you can exactly use the same method here also, and that will make you very effective, very efficient, and a great leader. The second tip that I want to share here is that you must break all your mental ropes. What do I mean by that? Now, you would have heard the story of a baby elephant who gets tied with a rope, and all along his or her life, it keeps thinking that, it can't break the rope. Exactly the same thing happens with all of us also. We get used to a certain way of working, certain method of working, and we stop questioning some of those methods. And this happens a lot in the corporate world. We have standard ways of working, standard SOPs, and everybody becomes in a way a slave of routine. We keep following the same routine, we keep following the same methods, we keep following the same patterns every time. And that becomes a huge issue in terms of making us more efficient. So I always tell people that if you have to become a great leader, if you want to really move on the path of leadership, you must start questioning the status quo. That's extremely important, because unless you question some of the established practices, you can't bring in efficiency. You can't bring in effectiveness. That's very important. And people fear questioning things because everybody thinks that since it has been happening for so many years, then might as well there must be some method, some rule because of which it is happening. And that's why they don't question it. Great leaders always question status quo. Great leaders always break these mental ropes and become more effective and more efficient. So that's why you must also start practicing this. You must start questioning things. Start by questioning one or two things, and you will start seeing the benefit. And once you question something, and once you establish something, another practice which is more efficient, people start looking at you very differently. They start respecting you for your ability to question things and bring in change. And that's why this small tip is very effective in making you an extremely successful leader. The third tip that I'm going to share today is leaders always face problems. They're supposed to solve problems and give solution. Now, as leaders, what we typically do, we collect data in our mind and we process it there itself, and we try to find solution. Now, I always tell people that rather than trying to process everything in your mind, try to solve problems pictorially. Put it down on a whiteboard, on a sheet of paper, and then probably use a cause-effect method, a fishbone diagram, or whatever method you want to use to solve the problem. Put all the facts in front of you. And this will not only help you, but it will also help people who are working with you on that problem. Plus, you can always go back and look at things differently, because if it is in front of you, yes, you will spend probably first 15-20 minutes putting it down, putting some solutions, and then maybe whenever you come back, you may have a different idea, you may have a different thought, or somebody else who is looking at that picture could have a very different thought. And that's how you will be able to capture more ideas, more thoughts. So that's why you must use the problem-solving style by putting everything pictorially and trying to look at the problem with a very different lens rather than trying to process all the information in your mind, because that is a restrictive way of looking at the problem. By opening it up, by putting things in front of you on a whiteboard, and you're opening up to all possibilities, not at your own level, but you are allowing others also to look at the problem and give their solution. So always try to solve problems pictorially. Put them in the form of a fishbone diagram or whatever way you want to do it. But that is extremely helpful. I have found this very useful in my personal career, and I always advise people that rather than trying to keep things within your mind, put it in front of the world, take suggestions from everybody, come back to problems, rethink about them, and that will really help you in becoming a great leader. So today we learned 3 more things. What these 3 things are, let's just summarize. The first thing is use brevity in answering emails. Try to answer them in a sentence, 2 sentences, so that you can really become very effective and efficient in managing tons of emails that you get on regular basis. That will make you a great leader. You will be able to respond to people fast, give them decisions, give them information. So that's the first thing. Then you must break the mental ropes and start questioning things, start questioning status quo, and bring in efficiency, bring in effectiveness. And finally, try to solve problems pictorially. open up the problem to the world, to possibilities, and these three things will really help you in becoming a great leader. So if you have liked this video, give it a thumbs up, share it with family and friends, and if you have any questions, put that in the comment section below. I'll answer them. And now I will meet you in the third part of this video series to share with you 3 more tips. Till then, thank you very much for watching.